Greetings, travelers. I'm Josh,
And I'm Kahi.
and we're the Genshin Guys. Welcome all. This podcast is for fans of Genshin Impact, the mobile game made by Hoyoverse, also known as miHoYo. Here we talk about our opinions, experiences, and dreams about Genshin Impact. If you like our show, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the podcast. So before we get started, Kahi, how are you doing today?
Enjoying my much needed day off after this whole week of late shift after late shifts. I really don't like working at night. I just don't have I feel like I don't have a day at all. I could just get up and I have to already think about getting on my way to work. So finally enjoying a full day of rest. Got caught up on a lot of shows, got caught up on a lot of games too. Quite a lot and technically not a lot to talk about today. So I can't wait to get into our big topics. But how are you, Josh? How have you been lately?
I've been all right. I've been streaming a lot. It's been really fun to just hang out with the community again recently. I've just been having fun playing games. I've been playing Tekken 8, been playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Did you try
Grand Blue
World?
Relink comes out soon. Pal World. I've been playing Pal
Did you?
World also.
I've been watching so many clips of it. I'm probably not going to play it, but I love watching it.
Oh man, well it's really funny. I've been streaming that too. There's a lot of fun games out recently. It's really, really tough because so many games I wanted to play have come out and are coming out within this 2-week span. And so I'm gonna have to make sacrifices on which to play right now. I'm gonna push back Persona 3 Reloaded because I've already played the original Persona 3, and as much as I want to play this one, I want to play Grand Blue Fantasy Relink more. And we're gonna play it in the community too. So if you play that game on PlayStation, hop on into the Discord and let us know because we're gonna be playing that as well. I've just been trying to make time where I can, trying to do work stuff, and of course trying to do Genshin, but it is hard. Genshin and Honkai have some really cool things coming out soon, but time and different games, and like I said, the timing is all over the place. So it's really just about deciding what to spend time on. That's really difficult. But I'm glad there are options right now because there haven't been options for a little bit. And so it was very easy to just catch up on something. But then even with that, because of my move, I wasn't really able to catch up on Genshin or Star Rail in terms of 100% caught up to the side quests. So story, I'm all caught up. But other than that and events, I also do events. But yeah, it's been tough. But it's been fun, and I've been enjoying it. Video games are still my favorite thing in the world, my favorite pastime, my favorite way to experience stories and all this stuff. So that's how I've been. So let's get started talking about our topics for today. Talk about our weeks in Genshin news. We're going to talk about the controversy around the anniversary event rewards. We're going to talk about the Beetle battle event that just ended. And we're going to talk about community discussion question and one last wish. So, before we jump into our first topic, I just want to give another shout out to the Discord. If you haven't already joined the Discord, come join us. We have the link in the description. We hang out there a lot. We talk a lot. We play games together. We stream for each other. And just do a lot of fun stuff. It's a really great community. And we would love to have you be a part of it. Yeah, so the Discord group. Also, if you're in the LA, South California area, I do a meetup in person. The meetup link should be in the description as well. So if you're interested in coming to hang out and talk to people about Genshin in real life, come check it out. And then the last thing is please support the podcast if you have the means to, using the Ko-Fi link in the description. It really helps us out. Every little bit gives us a little bit that we need to work on, spend the time, justify the time we spend working on the podcast in general, for everybody here that's listening. So thank you to everyone that has already donated, and we really appreciate you. There are some donation rewards as well, so go check that out when you get the chance. Okay, so let's get started with our weeks in Genshin. Alright, Kahi, how has your week in Genshin Impact been?
So I finally finished the battle pass after taking my sweet time earlier. I think this is probably the longest it ever took for me to complete a battle pass. I usually don't complete it the last minute, the last day or two. I think, but the fastest time I completed the battle pass was, I think, when Rite and Shogun was coming out, because I'm like, I need to get all the wishes I can. This is Rite and Shogun. But yeah, it has been a while since I like just took this long. So finally completed that, which is nice. Just farming for some more artifacts. And I am really hating this artifact domain because I still don't even have a good set. I don't even have good pieces because I think based off of what Jianyun needs, she needs attack, and I can't seem to get just even basic attack pieces, which is super frustrating. It's always HP and defense and like some mastery, and I'm like, I don't need mastery. This is not a mastery set. So I'm just gonna keep at it, but I'm just tossing whatever gold relics I get into like the alchemy table to turn it into the pyro set for jamming. Just because, you know, might as well use them for something. So just naturally, if I'm gonna be rolling for this one character, a few jammings are gonna come up here and there. So I know we're gonna get at least one for free if you choose him from the selector, but yeah, just preparing for leveling 2 characters. I normally only get, you know, prepared for 1, but apparently you're just naturally gonna have that 4-star, so might as well get some extra sets for that too. I'm just struggling to find a good claymore. I wonder if it'll
be good to have like double animo damage bonus set. Is that a thing? Like 2
double
Viridescent and 2 Desert Pavilion?
Well, that would be like a 30% damage bonus, 30% attack bonus, or however you want to see it. But still, like, the set that I'm going after, when it's the 4P set bonus is after a charge attack, like plunging attacks will do 50% more damage, which is basically her whole thing. So, and it's already an animo damage boost. So that's kind of like my idea of a perfect set for her. I don't know if the Viridescent Venereer set would be good because she's not intended to swirl things, but I mean, I guess you could if you want to show support. Yeah, but then you'd want to focus more on her elemental mastery instead of her attack. But I mean, I'm sure you can find all the combos and other formulas with this thing, but I feel like she would match more with this other set because it does specifically say like plunging attack.
Yeah, I think it's how you want to play her, right? Because because remember, she can give other people plunging attack. So if you want to play as her and do plunging attack, then yeah, that makes sense. But if you're going to play as other people, then if you put Viridescent and Venereer on, then she can swirl them first, and then you can switch to someone else, and then they can swirl. I mean, they can do plunging attacks, right?
And she heals too, so maybe if you want to build her as like some pseudo healer or something, or whatever means that.
I think a lot of people.
She's very versatile.
Predicting that the new healer set would actually be really good for her. So, you know, that's for people who want to build her as a healer, of course.
Yeah, so that's basically my 2 big things I've been doing today. Like finishing that battle pass was great. Got about 113 wishes ready. So hopefully I can get at least 1 character that I want instead of 1 that I don't want. Hopefully I have enough for that weapon too. But even if I don't get the weapon, I have the Skyward book, the catalyst for her already. So
Atlas,
the Atlas, that's the one. So yeah, what have you been up to? Anything that you're farming for, or in particular?
Yeah, I've just been trying to farm the new Navia set. Like it also has the healing set in there. So if I use that on Shanyun, I haven't decided yet, but I am going for the Navia pieces. It's kind of hard to get good crit damage, so just grinding the domain as much as I can. I also did a little bit of which one was I doing? Oh, I was doing a little bit of Desert Pavilion set just in case that it was good for her. And yeah, I would probably I haven't seen her attacks and stuff like that yet, like how they feel, obviously, but if it feels fun to play as her as an on-field DPS, then yeah, I might build a team around her versus like her being in a team. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I've just been trying to farm as much as I can. I also finished the battle pass pretty last day. I actually haven't been playing enough, so I actually had to buy the last 2 tiers like with my gems.
Oh yeah, I've done that before.
You get 600 anyway, so like I was like, well,
yeah, it's a refund.
You know, yeah, it was like a little
might
bit
as well.
less, so.
It's totally viable to do that. I like doing that. I think I only had to do that.
I mean, I literally ran out of the ability to because I was at cap, right, for the week, so I had to do it. Yeah, I realized I haven't been doing bounties and requests, so my reputation's only like level 6, and I haven't been exploring either. So
I'm at
that's
9,
probably a
but
huge thing.
me, I was already lazy doing that, but I'm like, I didn't do it every week, so I know I probably missed out. I think
Right.
I don't really need the glider because I already have like all the characters that I use, they have gliders that match with other ones that I already have. So this is just like a to have for later in case like someone's
Yeah,
outfit
which you
matches it
will
better.
want later, and it's
Yeah, of
kind of a
course.
completion sake thing too. I mean, you can only do it once a week, so
I have all the
you
gadgets
know.
anyways, so the reputation is nice, but I mean, once you're at max rank, there's not much reason to do them other than maybe if you need gil or what. Or
Yeah,
not gil,
I'm not at max rank.
gold or something.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, if you haven't
Wait,
done
what's
it,
gil
you know,
from?
obviously you
What
don't want to
what
miss out
game
on
is
the reward.
what game is gil from? That Tales
Final
of
Fantasy.
Symphonia? Oh, it's Final Fantasy. Okay,
I mean, pretty much most fantasy games,
is that how?
right?
That's it really?
A lot of fantasy games have gil.
Same
Yeah.
thing? Huh.
Yeah. So anyway, we do have that's pretty much it for my week in Genshin. So I think that's it for our weeks, which means we're gonna move on to the next section, which is Genshin news. Okay, in Genshin news, we don't really have much information. We just have 2 birthdays: Kirara on January 21 and Rosaria on January 23rd. The 4.4 update is coming soon, so I'm expecting there to be drip marketing in the next day or two. But we haven't gotten it as of this moment. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see that soon. But other than that, not really anything new. They've just been posting kind of recaps of what's coming out in 4.4. And by the way, I think you're right. I think they are adding 5 team slots. I remember you were talking about like you couldn't figure out where you
I
saw
do
it before,
remember,
but I
yeah.
think they are adding that.
That'd be nice. I can finally keep like I have to keep the final slot available as like a test team just in case.
Yeah,
there's
like a
team.
flex.
Yeah, flex. I mean, I found some good ones, but like I can't keep them because I have all these other people that I have to keep playing around with. Especially if I'm trying to go into a domain that I haven't been in a while, and I need all
Right.
fire team or I need all cryo team or animo or whatever. So it's nice that I can get like, more like solid slots for like good teams because there's a few that I still want to try out.
Yeah, I have a flex slot just for basically that reason. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for news. I don't think there was any actual news like worth reporting. So that's pretty
Other
much
than
it.
community stuff, but that's what we're gonna get
Other than
into
community
pretty
stuff,
soon.
which is our main topic. So let's dive into our main topic, which is the anniversary event rewards.
みんなの分もあるよ。
Now, so this isn't the first time we've had this sort of thing happen, because before, during the, what's it called? So, okay, so let me start this way. The Chinese New Year is one of the biggest events to happen in Chinese culture, throughout the year, right? So every year, just like, you know, Christmas is really big in the West, and, you know, Easter's and 4th of July and stuff are also big in America. The Chinese New Year, which happens at throughout February, is a really big deal for China and Chinese people, and by extension, Chinese games. So Chinese games have Chinese New Year events, and they're usually very, very generous with rewards. Now, in Genshin's case, last year, and I believe just every year, they basically come out and say, hey, we're gonna give you some rewards, and it's like 10 fates or 3 fates, which is this year's thing. And so a lot of people think that they should be giving more rewards to the players who are loyal to the game. And now, like, there's a couple ways to look at this conversation from, but basically right now, Genshin, what is actually happening is that Genshin Impact fans are outraged about the rewards, which during the live stream, the developer said, hey, you know, thank you to everyone for making Genshin Impact, you know, a great game and for being part of the fan base. We're going to give you 3 fates. So we're going to give you 3 pulls of the gacha, in which everyone here playing knows that you don't get a character guaranteed until you pull 90 times, right? And 3 pulls is basically enough that you like something you would get for doing like a couple quests in the game, right? It's not a very substantial gift. It doesn't really make an impact in any sort of way that is like, hey, thank you it doesn't really feel like they're really being generous or thanking us. They're just giving us another day's, worth of something. And so a lot of people are outraged about that. And the Chinese community, especially because Chinese New Year is really special to them, and this is not the first time this has happened, but this, I believe, is the least amount that they've said that they would give out, right? And it wasn't that they would say, hey, we're going to give it out. They said, to thank everybody, we're going to give you 3 pulls. We're going to give you 3 intertwined fates. Now, this led to the outrage, leading to a drop in social media follower counts and 1-star reviews all over the place on platforms like Bilibili, right? So a lot of people are dissatisfied with the perceived greediness of Genshin, like not listening to player feedback and leading to a loss of hope for improvement. So I am looking at a Game Rant article written by Blade Moore, by the way, that is just kind of highlighting the situation. So that's what's happening right now. And the thing is, recently, Honkai Star Rail, another game by Hoyoverse, everybody received a free limited 5-star character just because Honkai Star Rail won nominations in like a community nominated sort of event. So it has nothing to do with Chinese New Year, nothing to do with anything real, like real world situation. It was really just the game awards that go on every year, which is a totally community based thing, as far as I understand it. And because Honkai won, they gave everyone a free 5-star, which they've never even done in Genshin. So now we had a collaboration character once, which was Aloy from Horizon, the PlayStation game, as a collaboration for PlayStation.
Which we had to wait for the PC people to get it because of the whole PlayStation deal that they have to maintain exclusivity for a while.
Right. It was a special deal. And she, by a lot of people's standards in the game, didn't do anything really special, wasn't like a different character, didn't really bring much to the game. Wasn't even fun to play for a lot of people. So so she goes largely forgotten. But Honkai Star Rail's character, Dr. Ratio, was very, very well received. He's a very good character in the game. He's very useful and can do a lot of things really well. And so people are pretty disappointed that Genshin, this game that has been out for much longer, has probably the biggest fan base. Actually, I'm pretty sure it has the biggest fan base of any of the Hoyoverse games by far. Is just like, despite all of that fan like buzz, the amount of people playing it, the amount of people spending money on the game, they're not giving back to the community, and they're not really communicating with the community enough to get to a point of compromise or to like an understanding. And like they just don't involve the community in the decision-making process when it comes to a lot of things. And their community is kind of upset about that, especially when it comes to something like the Chinese community and the Chinese New Year rewards. Okay? So the last time that people argued about this, fans were able to receive a new pair of wings in-game, as well as additional rewards after some time. But even then, it didn't feel worth it to some people. And in this article, I like how it words it. It's like, it's become an expectation and a defeated reality for some that Genshin Impact can tend to be greedier than the other games when it comes to skimping on rewards. Now, there's a couple of caveats to this, right? Before we talk about like how we feel about it. Some fans, they look up information before it's released, right? So we don't talk about it on this channel, but there are people who look up leaked information and they set their expectation based off of that. And then when it comes out that is not the expectation in the end, they get really disappointed and they think, oh man, that leaked information was better than what actually came out, right? Now that's
sounds very familiar part, in a lot of
right,
fandoms.
right?
Yeah.
This is I personally don't believe this is fair to the developers and their marketing and how they decide to build the game and bring the players' expectations up to par, but this is a reality. This is happening. Apparently, Genshin isn't the only one receiving these hits, because people have also begun to unfollow other companies that Genshin Impact collaborated with to put more pressure on the game, right? So their accounts are losing followers and being review bombed until the fans' voices are heard. And so instead of facing the issue with players head on, it's been implied that Bilibili bots are being bought to subscribe to the plummeting channel in an effort to save itself. So people are review bombing these companies that Genshin collaborated with, and then those companies are likely buying bots to pump their numbers back up instead of just addressing any of these issues. So that is what is happening right now. Okay, and a lot of this is happening in the China community, but of course, there's many unhappy players in the Western community as well. So, Kahi, what are your thoughts on everything that is happening with this right now?
So, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I know that for a fact because there are people who don't even play the game, so I'm sure they have the same sentiment. I'm not really finding myself caring all that much. I mean, it's nice if we get something, and if we didn't get anything, it would make no difference either, because if they have content, they have something in the game, I might play it. I would still play the game anyways. It's nice to have a GIF, but when you look at another game, it says, oh, they got more GIFs. I'm like, okay, yes, there are games that are out there that are going to have more GIFs than this game. You can play that game. You're more than welcome to. I play both. I'm happy with anything I get. Now, it's not to say that I wouldn't love more. I wouldn't like throw a fit and demand more. The problem with this kind of mentality is that I do not want to fall into that trap of entitlement. Yes, I've already spent a whole bunch of money on the game, but I've gotten the things I spent the money on. There's things I got for free that I didn't even want, and of course that was great also as well. You really have to, for a lot of you who are like really upset by these lack of rewards or overabundance of rewards in other games, you have to be really careful in thinking like this, because you're setting yourself up to consistently be demanding and expecting more than what the game is going to give you, and you're going to end up going down a road where it should just give you everything. It's very risky. That kind of behavior, that kind of thinking is not healthy, because that is going to bring you to the level of obsession that is unhealthy. If a game gives you rewards, that's great. If it doesn't, be happy with that. Just play something else. If you're gonna really try to protest something, don't give them any stats or numbers. Play something else. Like you said earlier in like how we're doing, there's a lot of games out there. There's a lot of really tempting games. I have yet to play Baldur's Gate 3. I really wanted to play that game, but there's a lot of stuff else that I gotta do. Eventually I will. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out. I would love to play that game as well. Honkai Star Rail I play at my breaks. Genshin Impact I play when I come home. Destiny 2 I play when I'm having some free time. When people start treating Genshin like it's their only game, and they want everything in this game because that's the only game they want to invest time and money or just obsess over, that gets really, really concerning, because you're shaping your personality around the state of a game, that when the game starts to perform lower than your expectations, it affects them like mentally and physically. I mean, we all talk about like mental health is an issue, like not in just this country. It's a mental health crisis everywhere. This is a thing that you have to really be cognizant of. It is free rewards in a video game that you can decide to put down at any time. If you're upset, put it down. Leave. Go do something that makes you happy. Play a game that makes you happy. You can want rewards. That's not wrong. It's nice to have extra rewards. But if you're gonna say that having less rewards means you are unhappy and pained in this capacity, take a step back, please, and just enjoy something else. You do not need to keep diving into something like outrage culture. I do not want to get anywhere near that, because I know where that road goes. So I'm going to be over here saying, if I get something, cool. If I don't, that's cool. I'm just going to do my thing. So that's my thoughts on it. What about you?
Well, my thoughts is that I do think that they should, instead of just giving nothing, or they could give nothing, but it does
they totally could.
It is very valuable for a company to appeal to the fan base, like it is, period. And yes, they could give nothing, but I think that they should give something to keep player base sentiment up, right? To keep player base happy. And if
this is not something is better than nothing. That's not where you're coming from, right? So it's just it's good to have something.
If they're gonna give anything, if they're gonna give anything, right? It doesn't hurt to, if they don't know what'll make the fan base happy, or they If they don't know what will make the fan base happy, they can just not do it, not do anything. Or they can just like send out a survey and say, what would you like to see as the anniversary rewards, and give them some options, or just give them a write-in box, and then they can decide what they want to give and what would make sense for what a lot of people are asking. But they never do that. Instead, they just give something, quote unquote, and a lot of people feel that it's the way that they presented it, especially, was like, hey, thank you all, here's some crumbs, here's a little thing, it's like,
in addition to the 10
you.
wishes they're giving for free over the event time anyways too. But yeah, in that one particular instance, it sounded like only 3. It's not only 3. They're giving you 10 more when you log in.
Right. So the thing is, like, I think that they don't have to do any of this, but it makes sense for them to. Like, they should, right? And you're right, anybody can drop this game at any time and not play it. That's fine. But if the whole point is to reward people who have been loyal to your game, then the rewards should make the people who are loyal to your game happy, right? Like, It's not about, like, why are you giving them rewards for being loyal if you're not going to make them happy? So, it's like, yes, they can give whatever they want,
It is,
but the point is to appeal to the fan base, right? Like, they don't just give just because. Like, they give stuff because the whole point is to appeal to the fan base. That's the only reason you would give stuff away for free.
Happiness, however, is incredibly subjective. I don't know, a lot of people would be happy with their free 5-star of choice, but that would be a little much, in my opinion. But they did
which is why you ask
right.
for the public opinion. If a survey went out, and then people picked some things on a survey, and then one of the rewards was whatever was on the survey, then people will feel that they had a chance to voice their opinion.
Yeah,
but instead
they do surveys a lot. But like, in your particular one, yeah, it would be nice if they choose, like, hey, what would you think is a good reward? A, B, C, or D? I mean, people can at least vote for one.
It's just one option. The point is that they said, we're doing this for you, but they didn't ask us what we wanted. And they said, we're doing this for you. You should be grateful. Basically, they're not really saying that, but when they're saying, this is for you guys for being so great, but it's something that doesn't make people, in the fan base, excited or happy, or like maybe the amount of work and loyalty that they put into the game isn't proportional to any of the rewards in any capacity.
Yeah.
Like that three wishes is like, I played the game for a week, and the point a lot of people are making is like, when you leave the game for 2 weeks and you come back, you actually get like 500 Primo Gems. So you actually get more than what they're giving you for being a loyal player. You actually get more for that for just coming back to the game. You know what I mean? So they're rewarding
psychological
people who
trick,
come back,
though, because they're enticing people to keep the habit up. So that's another reason why they're doing that kind of reward.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but for rewarding people who have been playing your game for XYZ amount of time without missing enough days to trigger that comeback event, they're getting less. Like, and so they feel like maybe, like, because I would imagine that why they would give someone fates at all and wishes and things is to keep playing the game, right? Like, you get that stuff so you can use it, so you can get more characters, so you'll be happier, so you can keep playing the game. But if they don't give you enough to do that, then what difference does it make, right? Like, I came back, oh my god, New Year event. Here's even 13 wishes, like 10 plus 3. Here's 13. You get a Favonius sword. Where was the impact of that? Where was the impact of any of those rewards? Like, that the reality is most people lose 50/50s. The reality is you will not get anything substantial with the amount of rewards they give you in most cases, like a very high percentage. So, like, if you need 90 pulls to guarantee something in the gacha and you only get 13 as a free thing, for most people it's not going to make a difference, that 13. For some people it will, sure, but for most people it won't. And most people recognize that they can do any number of things in the game to get more than that. So what is the point of that incentive? What is the point of that reward? And I think that's what most people are arguing about.
Yeah,
it's not that they're not getting anything.
Right? Yeah, like
Well, yeah, it's just it's the expect. So the thing is, they're comparing it to Honkai,
There you
and
go.
what the thing I don't like about comparing to Honkai at all is it's a totally different game, and the way the game works is different. A lot of people don't understand that. Genshin has exploration. It has other things to let you spend time in the game. Every character goes farther in the world. The way the team building works is totally different. One character in Genshin is super impactful.
It's
in
more
Honkai,
valuable, and yeah,
you get more value out
aspects
of
than
one different character. So I don't think it makes sense to compare the two games just because they look so similar. They have similar UIs and they're by the same company. They're two different games in two different genres. And so it doesn't, like, even if we get a free 5-star in Honkai, chances are that character will be, because of the way that Honkai's system and a lot of those games work, that character will not be as valuable in 6 months to a year.
Correct.
But if they
You do
give
need
us
more
a
characters
character in
that.
Genshin, yeah, but if they give us a character in Genshin, if this character has any sort of exploration or any kind of mechanics, like anything that this character could have, could be really valuable in terms of like the elemental system, traversal, maybe being a support character in general. Like there's so many more ways to build a team and to play Genshin that one character makes more impact. And so, it might not be a big deal for them if they're going to give a free 5-star because they know that there's not a good chance that someone's going to keep that character forever and they'll be the strongest character ever. Maybe that's just one way I see it. But the point is they're two different games. So just because Honkai gets a free 5-star doesn't mean that Genshin should get a free 5-star. I don't even think Genshin should necessarily get a free 5-star. I'm going to be honest. Like, I would like it. What I would like is to have the same system in Honkai Star Rail where once you've hit a certain amount of pulls on the standard banner, you get to pick one of the standard banner 5-stars.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But other than that, I don't think we necessarily should get a free 5-star, but I think we could stand to get more. I think we should get in Genshin actually is a free constellation. Like we should get an item that gives us a constellation on any 5-star character we want. And or maybe there should even be a 4-star version, but I think that would be more valuable. I mean, that would be like more valuable without being too valuable maybe for them. But the point is, like, if you give players stuff, they're going to want to play your game more. If you give them everything, they're going to get bored fast. But if you give them enough at the right pacing, they're going to play it for longer. So the point is, I think a lot of people are complaining that this reward that they're giving is not substantial enough for them to make any difference to their play experience, despite being a quote-unquote reward for loyalty. And they're getting disappointed and saying, well, if Genshin's not going to listen to us, or Genshin's not going to give us things to incentivize us to stay, then we won't have to stay, and that's fine. They can leave. But that's what I think the sentiment is. And so for me personally, I think it would be nice if they gave us more. But because I do really like the story and I do like the characters I already have and I like the characters that have been released, I'm just, I would love for them to do more. I'll voice my opinion, but I'm not going to trash the game. I'm not going to go in and review bomb it. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. That stuff, it just shows that you have no you have no desire to make a proper impact in like the game space. Like the developers don't want to listen to you if you
It's very
do something
reactionary.
Like yeah,
Reactive.
It's like fighting fire with fire, and like that just makes more fire, right? So
it's unnecessary, right? It's like I understand the outrage. I understand being disappointed. I understand, like comparing, contrasting between your games, even like other Honkai, like Hoyoverse games. Like I get it, but capitalizing on this kind of outrage. I mean, I get that YouTubers are making YouTube videos out of this. We don't even monetize this podcast, but like you can donate it if you want, which is awesome. It really helps. Like, but we don't intentionally go out of our way to like force ourselves to make content out of this so we can gain some kind of monetary or like compensation out of it. It just gives us a topic to talk about. This kind of thing, when events like this happen, expectations play a big role in this, because like what you said, sometimes people come up with fake leaks or say like, hey, we're gonna get this and we should expect that breeds disappointment, because when the real thing happens, now you have more reasons to be mad. if I expected like a 5-star, like if they came out with a blog post and say, hey, we're gonna give you a 5-star. Oh, cool, that's awesome. And then they say, oh, we're not gonna give you 5-star. I'd be disappointed too, because the official channel said we would get blank, we would get X, we would get this many things. But because I didn't even know what they're gonna give us, in my particular perspective, anything was a surprise. That's cool. We're getting extra wishes just by playing the game, which is awesome. The game rewards you by playing the game as well. It may take longer, but some people choose to invest money to make it faster.
Here's the other thing.
Okay, go ahead.
If they like, this is a Genshin, this is a Hoyoverse and community communication issue sort of thing. Okay, it's a community issue. Period. Like, first of all, what does Hoyoverse lose after everything they have, after having the great story and everything? What do they lose if they give us 50 pulls? What do they lose if they give us a free 5-star, right? Like, what do they lose, right? Are they going to lose all the money that goes into people paying for that character?
Yeah, they don't lose or gain.
This or that? Huh?
They don't lose or gain. I mean, they
no. So they lose. Or they only lose. I mean, they don't lose from doing that. They don't lose at all. Like, they may lose if you look at it from a singular perspective, of like, this character could have been a character that made money for them, so they lost money. Like,
they lose out, which means they didn't gain. Yes, but they don't.
But then the point is that if this is happening every year, then this is a problem. The community doesn't expect over the top rewards. They don't. Like, you can do a survey and they don't expect 500 pulls. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. But they expect more than this. So the problem is that Hoyoverse needs to listen to what people are saying, to not have this issue, and to not have this be an issue. Because if the rewards were substantial, right, not over the top, like if they made sense and they made an impact in someone's playing experience, this wouldn't even be a controversy.
Right.
People wouldn't be complaining.
with substantial rewards. Yes, like for the community to accept a reward, it has to be substantial. I wouldn't, if like the game itself already automatically gives me like a wish every day, and then they said, oh, here, we're gonna give you 3 extra wishes. I'm like, dude, I can just log in for less than a week and I already get that. The balance seems askewed. Now, if they gave us like a solid 10 pulls, yeah, that'd be great. I would think that's substantial, like an extra 10 pulls. But the reward, what is it? The rewards promotion preview, like, hey, you get, from logging in between February 3rd to 18th, you get 10 pulls. That's for free 10 pulls already. But on top of that, they're giving you an extra 3. But the fact that people are zeroing in on just this 3 extra pulls, that's what seems like the perception of they're shortchanging it.
Well, I still feel like 10 pulls is not substantial. Like, if it takes you 9 times that many pulls to even guarantee getting a character, or to, like, you know, to get anything, 10 pulls is enough to get 1 4-star guaranteed, right? And that could be like anything. That 4-star itself isn't even guaranteed. Like, it will not change anybody's experience. It won't change most people's experience. Like I said, 1 pull someone can get a 5-star. You know, back to back, you can get a 5-star in 2 pulls. But the odds of that happening are really high, are really low. So the problem is that what they're giving is not enough. And if it was, this wouldn't be an issue. Right. That's the thing. We're not asking. You know, people say, "Oh, the fan base might be being greedy," or blah 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 blah. Like, no, it's the opposite. It's the company being greedy, because what they're giving doesn't make a difference. But like the players are the ones keeping the game alive, and so they're gonna get a reward that makes them happy. They're not asking for too much. They're just asking for more than what they're being given.
Right. And so it boils down to
if they
what
had even
is
taken a survey,
Yeah.
Well, if they don't know what substantial is, they can survey the community. That's the whole point of being community management, right?
Yeah, because everyone has a different level of happiness. Everyone has a different level of enjoyment in the game. Everyone has a different level of how much they're going to invest.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like I mentioned earlier, 50 pulls, nobody would complain. Whales wouldn't complain.
Nope.
Free-to-play players wouldn't complain. Is it even enough to guarantee a character? No, it's not. But it's substantial.
It is substantial,
right? There's a lot that can happen in 50 pulls. So it doesn't. Yes, there are different, definitions of what might be considered happiness and blah blah, but it doesn't matter because no one's going to argue that 50 pulls is not a lot. And if they just gave us 50 pulls every year on the anniversary, everyone would shut up. So, like,
I agree.
Don't you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
No
saying.
one would complain
It's
about
that
that.
simple. It's that simple. It's that simple for Hoyoverse to be like, hey, it's the anniversary. Happy New Year. Once a year, we'll give you 50 pulls. Here you go. Have fun. Play the game. It's not enough to guarantee a character. It's not, you can get 50 pulls in the game by playing the game after, putting in
But
a
it's
decent
more
amount of
than
time into
3.
it. But the point is that it rewards people who play the game and
Yeah.
it'll bring people back.
Mm.
Right? That's
So
what the real
that-
solution to this is just one reward or just a reward that nobody complains about.
irrefutably
And nobody,
substantial.
it's not
satisfying.
it's substantial. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it matters. Like the
satisfactory.
happiness of players is going to vary. I mean, but even like I said, whales would be happy with that. Even people who
Mhm.
spend money to max out every character. 50 pulls, like, well, that's 50 less 50 less pulls worth of dollars that I have to spend now. That's awesome. But 3? 10? It doesn't make a difference. Like it doesn't. So it hardly scratches the surface or
Mhm.
makes a dent. So that's
So-
it. That's what needs to be done, is that they need to figure out what that substantial number is that everybody would be okay with, and then just do it. And then just keep it consistent. No one's going to ask every year to be like, oh, they give us 50 last year, we should get 60 this year. No one will do that.
They already
50
know
is
and identify
substantial.
that that number, even though you just tossed a number out, that is already substantial. Everyone will agree with that one. So
Yeah.
so we're gonna put this question to our community here, like in our Discord. We actually are curious about what would you think is the substantial number? Is there a perfect number? Is there like a range? Like, what would you say is the significant, substantial, and satisfactory rewards for a yearly event? Like, you have to wait an entire year for this reward.
Yeah. But
What
they would
would you
give you
think
it
it
every
is?
year.
Right.
Like, what would you be totally happy with if every year you could expect the same reward and you would be okay with it? Right?
So do you have an answer to that right now? Because I already have an answer to this.
I mean, honestly, my answer would be like 30 pulls or more, and if they're gonna do only pulls, 50 pulls. I think 50 pulls is very safe, and it's really good, and like no one would ever complain. But if it's gonna be pulls in something else, I would say 30 pulls, and then like a costume, like a 4-star costume for like any character, maybe just a Liyue character. I don't know, like something aesthetic that we can have in the game that is like one of those indicators of like, I played this event at this time, something like that.
They had
Could be a
those
pet,
minions
too.
that float. Yeah, the pets.
Yeah,
that
it could
float
be a pet,
around.
too.
They do that.
But they didn't say that this time.
Well, not this year. I mean, maybe that pet is coming out in another later patch or something.
Yeah, they
but-
do it for the anniversary, like the Genshin anniversary, but they didn't do it for
Oh yeah, the
Lantern
game
Night, so-
anniversary, right?
yeah, which is in September. But what about you?
Okay. A character. I would say like
A new character?
either a new or a 5-star character. Because if it takes an entire year
5-star
for, because in a year, how many characters come out? I would say 20 characters a year.
Something like that, yeah.
One of those characters that came out in the year, it could either be, you could maybe even make it random, but guaranteeing a character from that year and saying, hey, you log in, you will get one that came out this year. If you didn't join that game when the banner was out, that's okay. Wait for the Lantern Rite. You'll have a chance to get one of those characters that you missed throughout the entire year, or that you were really trying to go for and you spent money and unfortunately you lost your 50-50. Try
Yeah.
this one.
Or you want another consolation, right?
The consolation would be good too, but like every year you can look forward to guaranteeing yourself one character.
I mean,
I'd be
like,
fine
because
with
if
that.
you have all the characters that came out, then you could get a consolation for them.
Right. That naturally it would convert
Yeah.
to a consolation. So your idea is kind of like the same thing. You are guaranteed to get one character that came out that year. Because
Well, what I was talking about earlier, my idea was like you get an item that just adds a consolation to any character.
So the item itself, not the
Yes,
character.
so it doesn't. You don't have to pick someone. Like it's literally just you sit it in your inventory, Say
Okay.
you wanted a character's constellation C5, you want their C2, but you only were able to get C1 before their banner went away.
Mhm.
You just use that on them, you get C2, right?
I mean, it's very similar to my idea because getting the character gives you the constellation, but what about the people who don't have the character?
Well,
Like, it could automatically convert.
the item would be an item that you can sit in your inventory for as long as you want, and it would be applicable to any
okay.
character, even in the future. It's just an extra constellation.
Okay, I see how that could be
Does that
really
make sense?
valuable. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's super valuable.
It makes
like, literally
more sense
just
because
one
you
of
can
those
hold
a
on
year
to
would
it.
be insane. Yeah. You
Okay,
could
well,
like
for me,
hold on and for 6 years you could see 6 of them.
So,
but yeah,
I mean,
your
that would
idea
make
makes
sense.
more. Your idea is more
I'd be happy
realistic,
with
I
a
think, in a
character.
way.
Yeah. Either
Yeah,
a new
like,
one
your
or
idea is
one
like,
from
hey,
that
all
year.
of the characters that came out this year, you can pick one, and then that's it. And then next year, all the new characters from that year, you get to pick one of them. And yeah, I mean, at that point, we wouldn't even need polls. We would just get that.
Yeah, because
and I think everybody would be happy with that.
Because if you lose out on like a 50-50, or if you already have all the characters from that year except one, you just wait till Lantern, right? And yes, I have every character. Yeah, it's a little mini event for you.
It would allow us to have some sort of planning for sure.
Right.
You're like, I'll use my free 5-star on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a great idea.
Community, what would your answer be? What would you say is the most substantial and satisfying reward in a Lantern Rite yearly event? Because we already know there's going to be other anniversary events later on, but for a Lantern Rite, because apparently this is the big one that everyone's throwing their hands about, what would you say is satisfactory?
Perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much our discussion on the anniversary rewards. Let us know your thoughts and stuff coming to the Discord if you want to talk more. But for the just for the answer, we'll definitely expect to see your community question answers next week. Okay, let's move on to our second topic of the day, which is the Beetle Battle event. Very short and sweet and very fun event. So hopefully everybody here played it, as it is over now. But Kahi, your thoughts, favorite moments, any challenges? What did you think about the event?
I like it. It's fun to hear Ito's voice again after a while. He's just the goofball of the whole Genshin
so
universe.
Good.
He's fun. Kuki, of course, was great. I keep calling her Kuki. Yeah, like technically in lore, like canon, it's everyone addresses her as Shinobu. But
yeah, her first name is
Japanese
Shinobu.
names, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I like how they was all voiced. I'm pretty sure the last ones were voiced too, but it's nice that these little events still have, life to them. It adds to the whole like experience. I do like how they are really, mixing the cultures together as far as, hey, this is a character from Liyue, this is a character from Inazuma, and this is the event they're going on that's happening right over here. I mean,
dude,
it doesn't
the honorifics
always be fronting. Senpai, san.
Yeah, but he's like, what do you call someone at this side of the world? Esquire?
Esquire? What was the that guy, the T guy? He was the same one.
Iron Tongue Tian guy. Yeah, Uncle Tian.
He's the same one that tells the stories. I remember him from like Zhongli's intro trailer, his character demo, which was fun. So I'm like, hey, I know that voice. Oh yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
It was good to see some old faces again. It was fun. I like the Beetle event. I do like the new like laser mechanic. You can like repel and like hold your shield and all that. It's a mini game, which is already fun. But did you have like a favorite part of like that, or did you have? Well, how was your overall impression?
It's a fighting game. Like it's a little mini fighting game that like gives you a lot of the base feeling of like the fundamental feeling of like what a more complicated fighting game feels like. And I think it's really cool. It's really accessible. It's really cute. I love the little animations for the shielding, which is like the Beetle gets up and does like a wah and like this little pose. But yeah, it was unfortunately I just felt too short and too simple. Like I really wanted to do more, and I really wish for the next one they do like PvP. Like no, maybe you don't even need any rewards from it or anything. Just I want to play it with other people.
Like the card game, yeah.
Yeah, like the card game. I think it would be a really simple enough mode to put in, but you never know. It's just really cool. I really liked it, and I'm really excited because they kind of hinted at like Ito's next idea being
A mecha battle.
that they put in mechs, right?
That'd be
like,
great.
He said like the Beetle is driving the mech. Like
That'd be
it made me think of like
hilarious.
Pacific Rim or something, or Gundam. And just imagining like the next event just being like giant like Beetle robots like doing like really cool epic
Do
things.
you remember Beetleborg?
No,
Do you
what's
remember that? Beetleborg? Okay, that was like, it was like exactly like how Power Rangers and like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles went.
Oh,
It was just, you know, Beetle armor guys.
Yeah,
Beetleborg,
I
you know,
remember.
that's the one, yeah.
It's like
Barely
that.
anyone
It'll be
remembers that, but
similar like that. And then so I assume they would be in Fontaine because it's like mechs, right? And so where else would they go? I love that I realized that like Ito's story is now continued through these events. Like, you know what I mean? Like his character
it's
growth
fun.
and development and stuff is like happening through this like Beetle battle event. Like he's like saying things more responsibly and he's like
He's the
learning
god
how to...
among insects.
Oh my god,
You
so
remember?
funny.
That's exactly his personality.
The god of insects. Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I really like that event. And I really hope that we get more of those in the future. I mean, it was really fun. Okay, so let's move on to our community discussion question.
手をつなぎましょう。
Okay, our community discussion question from last week was, what are you most excited for in version 4.4? What are you looking forward to most? So Salido says in Discord, Salido says Nihida rerun. She was my first 5-star and third favorite. The new quality of life changes are always welcome too. Bean says, despite all the controversy and drama surrounding the 3rd anniversary, I'm still really excited for all the Lantern Rite festivities and such, as well as the new region in Liyue. And more Freemos. Rai606 says, my first Lantern Rite that I get to fully enjoy. The Yaksha featured is Menogius, and this Yaksha liked making clothes as a hobby. Maybe this is why we have new skins to represent him? Who knows? I want to learn lores and explore new maps. Most importantly, I want to see the lore behind the echoes of an offering artifacts that happened in Chenyu Vale. Fun fact, Chenyu Vale sounds like / can be translated to Sunken Jade, and we saw one in the trailer. Oh, interesting. WL Forever Bana says, always stoked for Lantern Rite. It's my 3rd one, and I love that they're giving us a whole new Liyue expansion. Gaming and Shanyun are also reasons to be excited for, especially Gaming, or Jiaming, who has Lion Dance infused into his moves. Super cool. Maybe Jiaming will be one to convince my dad I'm not just playing a video game, but a cultural education game. Yes. Enjoys Genshin too much. 100% Lantern Rite. Ignore what I previously put because it's my first one. I'm a relatively new player, but I haven't experienced it before.
Hey,
Okay,
congrats, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to everyone's first Lantern Rite, you know? It's going to be awesome. It's the first Lantern Rite where we have like an actual expansion of land in Liyue, so that's pretty cool.
Welcome to the controversy.
Welcome to the controversy. Cloudy says, this isn't just one thing, but I'm really excited for Lantern Rite. I was AR 17 last year, so one AR too low. Oh, and I'm really excited for my first one. I'm also looking forward to Nihida rerun since I've just finished the Sumeru Archon quest. I have a mental attachment to her, and finally the Xingqiu skin because it reminds me of Seal from Black Butler, which it does.
Oh my god, I just realized, yes.
Yeah, everybody's like already talking about it. It's crazy. I was like,
wait, new season's
dude,
coming out.
He just
isn't
needs
it?
an eye patch.
Wait, isn't like a new season of Black Butler coming out? Like a
Yeah, I
school
think
arc?
so. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to it much, but yeah, it is. I heard that there's some buzz around it.
I never watched the show, but I know it's very, very popular.
Yeah, it's like, from what I understand, it's aimed at, for girls, but it's like really
I can see
dark.
why, yes.
Yeah, but it's really dark and there's like a lot of like really interesting moments. So
I know,
I know my wife likes it, so I'm really considering watching the new show, but we'll see. Let's see. Ginko says, experimenting with all the fun plunging teams. Nice. And then Emmy says, Shao rerun. I better get a C2. In reality, I'm excited for Lantern Rite as always. I wasn't a Genshin player during the first ever Lantern Rite, so I promised myself not to miss any more Lantern Rites after that. LOL. Alright, that's everyone on Discord. What about on Spotify, Kahi?
Just a few on Spotify. I think it's because we are very close to the release date of our last episode, but we're still looking forward to your responses. So if you definitely want to get your answers in, Discord is definitely the quickest way to get your responses and to contribute to ongoing discussion. So we have 3. First of all, from the Prinzessin der Weltlang. The 4-star selector. I'll finally be able to get Yao Yao after she has avoided me for a year, even though I spent 180 wishes on her banner? Wait, after 180, you did not get a 4-star. Oh,
that's 4 stars,
painful.
dude. That's how they are. That's why it's like it's so
Wow.
great that we're getting a free Jiaming by choice if you want.
That
because
is okay.
you
Wow.
know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow, okay. Also Lantern Rite itself, since it's my first time celebrating. Hey, Prinzessin der Würtelung, welcome aboard. The Quiet Gem says, looking forward to the end. The end of the Lantern Rite. Okay. Well, because that means 4.5 will come out and we'll go hopefully back to Fontaine characters. I definitely know there's at least one we have yet to see on the banner, which is Clarande,
Tidween,
and
yeah.
Chiori, and
Yep.
whoever else pops up out of nowhere like Chevreuse. Alright, next up we have...
For real, I can't believe how random that was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a welcome surprise. It was nice, but yeah, there's like no lead up. Lulu says, I am so excited, in all caps, to explore Chenyu Vale. Yes. Get a new Xingqiu and a new Xingqiu skin and actually start saving for Clarande. What do you know? Clarande. Yippee! Okay, yeah. Lulu, I am definitely looking forward to Clarande. If I get... I have 112 wishes right now, so if I get... I know I'm very, very hopeful right now, but if I get Xianyun early...
Yep.
Oh man, this is going to be good. I am definitely going to have some really interesting teams coming out. Because, I mean, Clarande, which is Electro, and Xianyun, which is Animo, they'll always have good synergy. And they're like just... aesthetically they make sense too. So yep, that's all on Spotify. So as a reminder, what is our question for our discussion, Josh?
So our reminder for next week's question, like we mentioned earlier, was what would you want to see as a substantial anniversary reward that you feel like you could get every year and you'd be totally fine with it? All right, so that's pretty much it for our community discussion question. Let's do one last wish card.
ワクワクする事件が間もなく起きる。そんな予感がするよ。
Who or what are you going to roll for?
I am going to roll on my NA account for Ride and Shogun because I don't have her. And on my America account at this point, I'm pretty much just saving for Arlecchino, who's another character that could come out soon.
Oh, right.
And Skirk, who definitely won't come out for a very long time. So I wanted to see if I can I'm trying to see how long I can save. Like that's like the real question is like, how long can I save like a substantial amount of wishes so that I can go for like a higher constellations like C6 or what have you. You know, that'd be really nice. But I don't know, pretty bad at it, so we'll see. All right,
you want to go first?
you ready? Oh, I can go first this time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go. I'm gonna roll for Raiden Shogun, and boom. I don't know what my pity is. I'm pretty sure it's like 0. And it's blue. And it's for Ferris Shadow. Okay. Your turn.
Okay, well, rolling on the weapon banner. And here we go. It is also blue. And I got Magic Guide. What does this even do? I don't even know what that does. It's probably like an HP book or something.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think so, or something like that.
Oh, and then
Well,
a blue note.
We tried. Oh, that wraps up the show for today. Thanks for listening. And if you have time, please leave us a comment and a review. We'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. And don't forget to join us on Discord. The link is in the description. Also, follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter is at Genshin Guys Pod. Mine is at JSide Gaming. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JSide. And Kahi on Twitter and YouTube as Kahiao, KahiYao. Okay, so as always, everyone,
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Hoshi to Shienを目指せ.
Enjoy.